Good evening. Welcome to Brook School. We're thrilled that you've come to this information night, and we hope we'll just answer everything you want to know about kindergarten at Brook School. We'll do some quick introductions. My name is Margie Tully. I'm one of the lead teachers here. I am completing my 23rd year teaching kindergarten at this school, and I have been an educator for 30 years.
My name is Taylor Stevens. This is my second year as an associate with Mrs. Tully, and I am a Menlo Park native.
My name is Katrina. This is actually my 8th year at the school, but I started here more than that years ago as an associate teacher. I spent a year as an associate in the ELC, or Early Learning Center, then went to 3rd grade, then became a lead teacher in the Early Learning Center, and then left for a couple of years to pursue my own love of learning and get my master's degree in education, and then I came back and kindergarten spot was open and it was just a perfect fit. So this is my 2nd year teaching lead teacher in kindergarten, and it's awesome.
My name is Ariel Peterson. I am from Milpitas, and I am a 5th year kindergarten teacher at PBS, and just recently got my teaching credential and am clearing my credential this year.
So, as I said, we are thrilled to be able to share kindergarten with you. It is our passion. We all passionately love our job, and so let us start and give you some information about what we do every day with these darling kindergartners. So, Phillips Brook School prides itself on being a learning community that supports each individual learner and their unique learning process. The kindergarten philosophy is very simple. We provide opportunities for the children in our care to reach their full potential by supporting them in their endeavors and fostering in them a love of learning, which happens to be one of our core values also. We do this in a warm, safe, and loving environment where children feel comfortable, they feel secure to develop academically, emotionally, and socially. Children enter kindergarten full of wonder, curiosity, and they actually have that sense of love of learning already seemingly instilled in them. They are developing strong independent task skills, effective communication and problem-solving skills, and have a willingness to take a risk. During the kindergarten year, your children will be exposed to structured time for math, writing, reading. At back to school night, we will give you, we'll talk more about our program and when you'll receive a copy of your child's daily schedule. But we want to start off, which is something we are all very passionate about, which is free exploration. So the kindergarten schedule allows for free exploration every day. It's usually about a 45-minute block. And we believe strongly in the importance of play with 5 and 6-year-olds. It's their important work. Play promotes language development, comprehension, imagination, curiosity, problem solving, cooperation, empathy, all that good stuff. And so we wanted to show you some slides about what we mean when we mean free exploration. So we have an abundance of blocks. Children have blocks. They need car tracks here. You can see them playing. Legos, hugely popular. We offer clay, Play-Doh. Here they are constructing. This picture doesn't show it, but we actually purchased something called cool glue guns. And they are cool in every sense of the word. The children love them, and we bring in recyclables and they construct fabulous stuff. We have dramatic play areas in each room. They're busy selling food. They can dress up. We have all manner of dress-up clothing. We also have board games. We have puzzles. We have a writing center where they can send you love notes. We also have iPads where they can sit and listen to stories on the iPads should they choose, or simply go and read books in the reading corner. So it's just a little bit of what we have to offer in the kindergarten world of free exploration.
Okay. We believe the most comprehensive learning comes when a child has an active role in their learning process. The child is the center, constructing knowledge rather than acquiring it. Therefore, learning must start with the issues around which a child is actively trying to construct meaning. Kindergarten provides a challenging learning environment with authentic tasks, collaboration, negotiation, shared understanding, an exchange of ideas, problem solving, turn-taking, and multiple opportunities for the child to represent their learning. The exploration specifics may well look different for every single child in our classroom, and yet the learning fundamentals are the same. It is our role to tap into each child's innate curiosity and their wonders about the world. And in kindergarten, we weave curriculum, threads, and social learning into our emergent activities. So I have a couple of examples to share with you. We're going to start
Do the switch.
with a very recent one. Yes, very recent one. Just earlier this year, this picture was actually today, but earlier this year, it was actually came up at around dismissal time. We were waiting for children to get picked up, and one of our students just posed the question, I wonder who the tallest teacher at our school is. And so sometimes these questions happen all day long, and so it's our job as educators to kind of zone in on the questions that we think really could provide these rich learning opportunities for our students. So this one question, we got brought back to the team, we started to think about what are some ways we could introduce math concepts and literacy concepts and social learning. And so how that has developed is we brought the question to the entire class, we made predictions, we had discussions around it. We talked about measurement, we made our own measuring tool. A literacy piece was that we wrote a letter to the faculty all together as a group, a shared writing experience, which now is hanging in our faculty lounge where all the teachers can see before the break. And then coming back from the break, we set up our own measuring place in the multipurpose room. We had teachers sign up for different times. This is not just the teachers, all the administrators as well. So there's that social piece as well of our students, some of them new to the school this year, some of them familiar with certain specialists and certain teachers at our school, getting to connect with all the adults at our school, and we practice social things like, would you please take your shoes off so we can get an accurate measurement, and this whole process was very exciting for the children. They were so excited when it was their turn to go measure. And so now, as you can see, we have all of the different data points, and we are starting to make a number line with all of the teachers' measurements, and from there we're going to make a bar graph and do some other exciting things like share out our findings with the broader community, because now all the teachers will ask them, so who is the tallest teacher? We haven't gotten there yet, but when we do, they're going to be very excited to share what's next. So that's one example. And then we have some other examples of, you'll see at these next photos, what the culminating project of some of our different investigations over the years have looked like, and you can kind of see where math and literacy are woven in as well. So here's the aquarium. You can see the town project from a couple of years ago, another one from there. And then one reason we're showing you this is just a sample again, is to kind of say every year the students have different interests, and we really try to follow those and tap into their innate curiosity again, so we can find ways to, that motivation piece comes out when they're really excited about what they're studying. So here's the microscopic camera. So we also do smaller investigations as well as longer term projects. So we'll do cooking projects with the students. Some projects, as I've mentioned already, are different every year, but every year we do a post office as a mini exploration. And so we'll have a post office in the classroom. We write our own letters and walk them down to the post office and mail them ourselves. And so those are just a couple of different things.
Academic learning and emotional intelligence go hand in hand in kindergarten. As events happen, they present teachable moments. We respond in various ways depending on the situation. At this time of year, many children are able to work out their issues unaided and use good problem-solving skills. Earlier in the year, they may need teacher guidance or even a class discussion. When teaching these skills, we use role plays and modeling. Our emotional intelligence program emphasizes social, emotional, and academic growth in a strong and safe school community. Morning meeting takes place daily at every grade level. We use a consistent format of friendly greeting, some sharing, a fun activity, a morning message, taking a look at our daily schedule, and then moving on. The greatest cognitive growth occurs during social interaction. Through morning meeting, the children feel a sense of belonging to the group, they feel safe, and they have fun. Here are just a few pictures of what some of our morning meetings look like. Here's an example of a greeting where a student is going around and greeting different friends. This is one of our favorites in kindergarten called the shoe greeting. Students try to figure out whose shoe is whose and then greet that person, which can then lead to further activities such as organizing the shoes by size. This is another activity where they were writing the letter D, doing some letter study, and they made the letter with their bodies and their friends. Here's an example of morning message. This one was particularly for Halloween. Morning messages can be informational, they can have questions, they can have patterns, anything like that. We have our visual schedule that is up every day for those children to see when they come in. Our job chart, which rotates daily. And then another part of our intelligence program is creating hopes for the year and making classroom rules. Each child shares a hope for the year. Then as a group, the children help to create class rules, which when followed, will allow everyone to realize their hopes. When children create their own rules based on their own hopes, they are more meaningful to them and they are more likely to be followed. So here's an example of our hopes board from one year. You can see some of the hopes include learning to write a word and read a book, making their own story, doing calendar on their own. And this is an example of classroom rules. So as the rules were generated with the students, we also asked them how they wanted to visually represent those. And so they got into groups and decided what following each of those rules would look like. And we put this up in the classroom so that it's a constant reminder. Another part of emotional intelligence is building a sense of community in our classrooms. And one way we do this is by displaying a community board of everyone in class. And here's our community board, which includes a picture of the child, a little mini interview, which is a lot of fun, family photos, and then a student-drawn family picture.
Our program provides a rich collection of experiences designed to help students begin to think of themselves as mathematicians, scientists, readers, writers, and artists. We follow developmentally appropriate practices where learning is both structured and exploratory. Children are given ample opportunities to explore their interests and often suggest class projects, themes, and activities. Students are actively involved in their own process of learning where no ceilings are imposed. We believe that a learning community is not just happen, rather it is created purposefully. We see ourselves as facilitators and co-learners and strive to provide meaningful experiences for students, small groups, and for the entire class that challenge students to use their current skills as they learn new skills, problem-solving strategies, and new ideas. We believe kindergarten is the developmental bridge between preschool and first grade. Kindergartners are at a defining point in their development, and the PBS kindergarten environment creates real focus for developing the skills they need. In addition, there are curriculum expectations to fulfill in order to prepare the children for first grade and beyond. Each child's individual progress is actively monitored to assure every student has the opportunity to achieve their full potential.
Math. So one of our programs is math, and our math program uses an open-ended approach. It's very hands-on. It's manipulative based. It builds on skills, and it's developmentally appropriate. We believe in the importance of stretching the children's ability to compute math challenges in their heads. And our focus is not on whether or not they get the answer correct. Instead, it's on our focus is how the child figures out the solution to the problem and arrives, rather than arriving at the correct answer. The number corner, and we do number corner daily, and I have some slides I'm going to show you in a minute about that. The number corner contains a collection of daily workouts centering on such things as rote and skip counting, place value, recognition of numbers and days and months. And then problem solving is also introduced in kindergarten in various ways, by sharing stories, by acting out, and by using manipulatives. So I'll show some slides. Now the children do math in a workplace environment. And this is an example of some of the choices they are going to have in their workplaces. and there you can see their names are next to them. It becomes very independent. They know that they'll go to the workplace, complete the workplace, get checked off. They know they'll go and move their car to a different workplace with very little help from us once the routine is established. So some of the things we do, there's a lot of sorting, a lot of fundamentals, a lot of sorting, graphing. Here we're doing some weighing around Halloween. We do a lot of patterning. That is the basis of all math. We do a lot of patterning. We also introduce money, at least the penny and the nickel and the quarter. We talk about more and less. The children, you can see, are playing a lot of games. Not a lot of paper and pencil work. A lot of games, except this slide, of course, which is showing you paper and pencil work. But, and what this is the problem solving. So you can see from the picture, he's working with penguins. So we've already acted out some stories where the children are dressed up as penguins. And now we've done some problems, and now we're actually doing some equations and that. Because we weave our curriculum threads into our projects, we find that some of the math stems from projects too. So earlier you saw a slideshow of a town. We created a town in my room. This is actually from the town. We started to do math work, and what they've got here is some little buildings that we created, just simply based off that project of the town. Themed games, so this is around St. Patrick's Day. We also do some iPad math. We do some letter formation as well on iPads. This is a game that we're playing. And then this is a slide of number corners, so you can see the things we do. So we're looking at the calendar, we're counting the days of the month, we're talking about the different months. We're doing place value. We add a straw for every day we have. We group it into 10 when we have a 10 day, group it into 100s when we have the 100th day. And that was the last slide done.
The PBS kindergarten classroom is a print-rich environment, print that is both created and used by the children. Children will sign in with their names to let the teachers know that they are at school and ready to learn. As we've shown in some previous slides, there's a daily morning message that children are sometimes asked to respond to in writing. The daily schedule, as we also have seen, hangs on the wall to help students know what the day will bring. Early on, our Readers Workshop introduces and builds students' foundational skills, and in the second half of the year, children who are exhibiting like-minded reading behaviors meet to read with the guidance of a teacher in small groups. In writing, children are engaged in drawing and writing letters, illustrations, and stories. Literacy is a part of the daily life in kindergarten, and we seek to meet the needs of every young reader and writer who comes to us. So I want to just share a couple of slides of what that can look like. So lots of playing around with letters, using different materials to create letters. You can see that they're matching the capitals with the lowercase there. Learning about sounds in different ways, sound games, sound songs, rhyming books, rhyming songs, working on the Freddie Book awareness in there. We do some shared reading together as a group. As we talked about, some shared writing, the letter that we wrote together, things that have to do with our projects as well, some story sequencing, and then we have the guided reading, as we mentioned, small groups meeting together to read stories together a little bit later on in the year, listening to stories on the iPad, and reading stories as well. And we also have retelling stories with puppets. We do a little bit of handwriting letter formation, in many different ways. We'll try to explore, as I mentioned, letters with multiple different materials, not just the writing of it. Play-Doh, labeling our projects is another way that we incorporate literacy. Bookmaking is huge. We're constantly writing and making books and putting stories together and revising those books. And here's the writing stories as well.
In kindergarten, your child will experience the comfort of predictable routines. Our curriculum offers freedom to explore, and although this can enhance the learning process, it is all of these routines which provide the necessary framework for that creativity to develop. Routines offer a feeling of security and free children to become fully engaged in the kindergarten experience. So we have drop-off, where we're met with friendly faces from our faculty and staff. Every morning kindergartners sign in. They read the morning message. Then, as I said, we have our morning meeting. Every day kindergartners have snack, very important. We have 2 recesses a day. And then after lunch we have a rest time. Kindergartners may or may not sleep, depending on them. And our 6-day schedule is mission-driven and is in the best interest of all children. We see many benefits, no more missed classes because of holidays, so all students get their full learning. Specialist class times vary across the 6 days to maximize the child's learning at different points during the day. We have Connect Friday, every Friday, which allows for collaborative teaching across curricular areas and cross-grade experiences.
So we have a number of specialists here at PBS. You're currently in the library. Each rotation, the kindergartners have 1 block with Mrs. Noth, our amazing librarian. They get to check out books. We also have PE. PE happens a little bit more, 3 to 4 times a rotation, depending on where those days fall. We have amazing PE teachers, Coach Jackson and Coach Drake. Michael Barbarino is new this year. He's our new music teacher. The children meet with him twice a rotation. Science with Barbie Little. The children also have science once rotation, but it's a double block period. This just allows them to get more in it, whether it's experiments. It's just easier for the science teachers to give them that much more learning. That goes the same with art. Carrie Ann Armashevitz is our art teacher. This is her 2nd year at PBS. The children meet once a rotation with her, but again, that double block period so she can do larger projects with them. Sarah Ingles, she's our Spanish teacher. She comes to our kindergarten classrooms twice a rotation. There are also a lot of awesome across grade level opportunities and activities. Almost every Friday we have Gather. We gather in the MPR as a whole community, parents, faculty, and staff, and children. During that time, there might be different talks from Scott Erickson or maybe another faculty member or even a parent. The children also get to volunteer to be Gather Reporter, where they get to talk about something exciting that's happened to them that week or that month. Kindergartners also get a 5th grade buddy. We try to see our 5th grade buddies once a month, and then we also see our 5th grade buddies during Family Fridays. At PBS, we have something called a family. It is a way to get together students from all different classrooms and grades and different teachers. And it's about 2 to 3 kids from every grade, and we meet and we do an activity together, we get to hang out, and it's fun seeing your family at different times during the day and doing like a little connection sign or something like that. And the buddies are also in their the same family. We also have a ton of parent opportunities at PBS. Specifically in kindergarten, we offer family shares. Family shares are a time where they happen typically on Fridays. Families come in and they can share about a tradition, maybe a special holiday, a vacation, something that just means a lot to the family and the children can share about. And we love to party, especially in kindergarten. We try to have parties around any special holiday so parents and families can come and celebrate with us. It's a ton of fun. We also invite parents to come to any project celebration. Pretty soon here we're going to be celebrating maybe I don't know, maybe when we finish the height chart, parents can come in and check it out. But we try to get parents involved as much as they can, and the children love being able to share things with them.
So we're wondering how many of you are sitting here thinking, I wonder if my child's ready for kindergarten. You don't have to raise your hand. Thank you for your honesty. And it is, right? It is. You're concerned. Well, we want to try to allay your fears with some simple slides. So we just have a couple of slides of the writing process. So here's a child. They're drawing pumpkins. You can see that's what it is. Nothing else, just some pumpkins. This is this child at the beginning of the year. This is the same child at the end of the year. Yes, it's kindergarten writing. You know, we don't have exact spelling. We have inventive spelling and so on. But this is what we see at the end of the year. And here's another child at the beginning of the year. So this child came in, and there's some labeling. You can see the child is trying to put M for mom, T for table. There's a backwards P for plate. But that child's got some labeling, so it's got some letter sound connection. And then here, writing stories at the end of the year. That's a full sentence. This is, you might be looking at this and thinking, what's this? To us, this is amazing. This is amazing. And so this is our last shot. So this is a child who had vacationed in China over the summer. And this was her, you can read it, right? I was hot, right? She was on the Great Wall of China. And she was hot. And then she decided at the end of the year she was going to write that story again. And this is a 3-part story now. You see, she's got a beginning, middle, and end. So don't be worried. Don't be concerned. We embrace all of your children. We will embrace all of your children, and we will just grow them throughout the year of kindergarten. And that concludes our presentation. But we are happy if you have any questions. We do have a few minutes before you have to go off to listen to Dr. Erickson, I know. And I'm noticing some parents we know over there. Were you going to be part of our Q&A right now?
We just need to be chaperones.
Oh, all right. I didn't want to ignore you in case you were. So we will take some questions before the chaperones lead you to dinner. Anybody? Yes.
Do the kids get homework at this stage?
They don't. No.
The most they'll ever get is, please fill this bag with 3 things about you and bring it back, or please bring your book bag back.
Right.
Yeah, so they take books home to read and
Yeah.
things like that.
Things like that. Yeah, but no assigned home.
Is the programming between your kindergarten classes the same? Like, do you guys do the same exact thing across classes, or does it vary between classes depending on the? Sounds like certain things are
Yeah, like the
Yeah,
projects.
tailored towards the
exactly.
kids that are in the
But we are really
Our
lucky that we
curriculum
get
is
to,
the same,
the
yeah.
curriculum is the same, and we are really lucky that we get to plan together several
Okay.
times during rotation, so we can find out where each group of students is and kind of modify what we're doing based on what each class is doing, but it's the same.
So our reading program is the same, our math program is the same, writing program, but our projects might be different
Gotcha.
because they are more child-driven.
Right.
But we have a lot of time to collaborate
Yeah.
and plan together, as Kitri said.
Question, you said that you really don't have a ceiling with the level of education as the kids come in and matriculate through kindergarten. What do you do with a 5-year-old who comes in, say, reading and can do multiplication and, sort of advanced? How do you make sure that child stays challenged and
Absolutely, that's a great question, Jess, and we see this all the time, and we have to differentiate our learning to accommodate that, and I'm not going to go into it all tonight, of course, but absolutely we do. We recognize that kindergarten, it is huge, the difference is huge, and we have children who come in and who can't recognize a letter, and we have children who are coming in, advanced readers, usually self-taught advanced readers, who are doing wonderful things in mathematics too. So it's our job to discover that and then to differentiate the learning so that we never hear the B word, right? Bored.
Yeah, we really try
Yeah.
to meet them at their level and then challenge them and work with them to grow from there.
Well, we must have answered all your questions. Well, thank you so much for coming, and we wish you good luck in the rest of the process. And hope you enjoy the rest of your evening with Dr. Erickson. Thank you.